What's up, everybody? My name is Shannon and I am still waiting for my Satyr, and today we are talking about The End of All Skies by Vincent C Sales. First of all, I want to say thank you so much to Penguin Random House Southeast Asia for reaching out to me to review one of their books. They were even kind enough to let me pick from a list of books. When I read the description for this, I was very interested. So it's a YA novel. It's coming out in November, and it's the story about this rebellion that is rising up against a very powerful sultan, and they are within this mythical city where there were once gods walking among them. There is a lot of magic going on, and it just sounded like a very cool story. And it is very much centered in on Filipino mythology, which was really cool. I haven't really gotten a ton of that before, but it didn't take very long for me to realize that this book was not at all for me. And the reason for that is because I got 13 pages into the book, and I don't know if you guys have seen, there's this woman on TikTok who reads badly written female scenes, written by male authors. And I had one of those moments where I'm just like, really? Because every single character in this book that is giving a POV is almost always a man. And then when there was a woman introduced, I was like, oh God, really? This is the way we're telling the story? So I actually broke it down because there is a nice little table of contents. This book is 250 pages. Of those 250 pages, there are 47 chapters. And in those 47 chapters, there are 19 different perspectives that we read from. That already, I was like, because the first chapter is told by somebody who we never see again, and I already don't like that because it takes you out of the story. It takes a lot to get into it, and I, for one, am a very, very character-driven person. I really want it driven by character, so when I read that this book was about this rebellion, I was really hoping we'd actually get to be with them and feel them go through this journey, but instead we are very much just watching it happen, and we see it from multiple perspectives, so you really get a feel for the rebellion, why they're rising up, what's going on here, but you don't get any feel for the characters. And since it is so short and there are so many characters, none of them get any character development, and to me, they all felt the same. Of those 19 characters, 5 of them are women, and then 14 are male, and there's a couple of chapters that are told from multiple perspectives, but 45 of our 49 chapters are entirely from a male perspective, or mostly from a male perspective, which already I'm just kind of really? It was just kind of annoying to read, and I will admit, it only took me about 50 pages for me to be I don't think I can get through this, and I almost dropped it, but since it was gifted to me, I wanted to keep going, and it was hard for me to get through. I did read a couple of other reviews for this book that are currently available, and I did notice that there were a couple other folks who had the same problem, but theirs was with pacing, with it being slow in the beginning because it's a lot of buildup, which I do agree with, but I wish it had been slower and more character focused, because as it was, we'd be introduced to a character, we'd find out their motivation, and then we'd immediately move on. We move on to somebody else, and I never felt like we got settled in to anybody. And I read the epilogue. I ended up skipping ahead just because I wanted to see where overall we were going. And you know exactly where we're going from the back of the book. So there's not really a whole lot of mystery to it either. So I kept finding myself thinking, what was the intention? What's grabbing you? It has to be the plot, but the entire plot is on the back of the book. So there's not a lot of mystery going on there. Overall, and it does pay me to say this, I am giving this book a D+. The plus is because this story is actually very good. I do think that this story has a lot of potential, and I kept thinking to myself, if I was watching an anime, or even if it was a Western style anime or just something like that, I think the story would really hit. It would make sense to have all of these characters. It would make sense to show different perspectives. I just think it would make sense, and I don't think a narrative was the best way to tell the story, because reading it, for me, it was just very frustrating. I really wanted to feel connected and see what was going on with this mythology, but as it was, I just couldn't get into it. I don't know necessarily if I would recommend this book. Just knowing the people who watch these videos, if you have similar taste to me, I don't think it's gonna land. However, I do think there is potential here, so I haven't written off the author entirely just yet. But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you liked it, be sure to hit that like button down below, and don't forget to subscribe to Talk Books with me every week. That's everything I got for today, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.